Now we'll grab our 16-inch zipper, our main gusset. Sorry, this isn't the main gusset, but this is the main piece of the pocket gusset and the gusset lining. We'll put our main zipper on top of our lining piece where it's wrong sides to get. The wrong side goes to the right side of the lining. And you can clip it here or baste it here if you want. And then you'll put your main right side down so you have a zipper sandwich. And we're going to sew across here. I used a 4 on that because I knew I was going to be back stitching over it quite a bit. And vinyl's sensitive, so I didn't want to stretch it out too much. It looks okay. So we're going to do the same thing to the other side. What I do is I just open it up. Here's the lining. Here's the main zipper. I lied. Here's the zipper. I'll pull that apart and squeeze the zipper together. You can base stitch the zipper together if you would prefer. And grab your main and put it right on top. If you do it this way, make sure nothing gets twisted up. My zipper is a little cut a little weird. Did not cut straight, apparently. All right. Still a 4 on this side as well. And then we'll open it up. I just pull the zipper and you can top stitch your sides you just sewed. I'm going to switch to a 5. And then I'm going to pivot and baste these two pieces together. I have a lot of issues with those coming apart when I put it on the pocket. So this is just a personal preference. You do not have to baste this part according to the pattern. And here's your zipper. Okay, so I added a name tag on my front pocket. I've got my main front pocket, the zipper we just made, and some double-sided tape. I'm using 1/8 of an inch again. And I'm gonna put the double-sided tape all the way around both sides of my zipper. Whoop. This 1/8 inch double-sided tape is strong enough to hold on to the pocket all by itself without any clips. I'm so sorry. This is my preferred way to do it. I've done this with clips and my pocket did not turn out very great. Just because I didn't clip enough. Use lots of clips. Go slow. I think she tells you to cut into the zipper on here, and I love Lindsay and all of her patterns and everything, so she probably says this for a reason, but I've been always told not to cut your zipper. I know she wants us to help ease it in, but I've always heard your zipper will fray and come all the way apart, so that makes me really nervous, so I just don't do that part. Putting the double-sided tape on the round is kind of frustrating. Moves all over the place. Okay. All right, so double-sided tape on both sides. Then we're going to figure out which side needs to go on here and get our pattern piece so we can mark our centers and the gusset placements. All my markings are marked. My zipper pull is on the left-hand side. I'm going to take this side off. Okay, so if you can see, I'm taping this up and around. Keep going around that curve. Pin it down pretty tight. Keep going around this curve. You're going to have to pull it in to get around the curve. It's kind of tight.
You have the exact same one.
I started at my gusset, and my gusset matches up perfectly on the other side.
Libby? Is that the one Faye has? Yeah. That's what I thought.
And then we'll do it around the curve here.
Yeah.
Can we see that?
See how to shut it off?
Like this.
Yeah. Okay.
And around. Whoop.
Welcome to our weekly week. Yep, exactly.
And you see it got a little bit extra there. That's okay. I just messed up somewhere, and I'll just need to pull it up a little bit and walk it back in. I see where I messed up. My lining's just a little bit bigger than my main. Look at that. Perfect. And it holds on there all the way. So you can baste this around now if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that because this is basically basted down. So then we need another pocket. Okay, so I made the same marks along my pattern piece. So I'm gonna lay them on, this is the accent one. I'm gonna lay it on top of my gusset, no, my main piece here, and try to find the marks I had. Anyways, we can start on the gusset side at least, because those are actual marks that I can see, because I covered mine up. So I'm going to do both sides of the gusset, and we'll just go from there. Oop, that popped open again. Okay, here. And I can go ahead and just clip it here. And then I think I'll sew now. Okay, I'm gonna start at one of the gusset sides. Make sure your zipper pulls out of the way. I can feel mine right here, so I'm gonna move it. While I'm going around my curve, I'm gonna pull my zipper pull back. Keep your accent laying flat. Going around that curve. Make sure your zipper tape is smooth also. You should be able to feel that between your layers. If you get any bumpies or anything, you know you need to go in there and adjust it. You don't want any pinches. That bump is always going to give you a pinch. Every time. I missed. I left my zipper behind. Hold on 1 second while I catch that. Thank you. Okay. If you, I'm sorry, oh, if you wanted, you could use double-sided tape on this side of the pocket as well. So you'll sew through 2 layers of double-sided tape. I'm pretty sure I've done that on this pattern before. I'm trying to smooth out these bumps around the curve. That's where I get messed up. Sometimes I get these pinches down here in these curves that you can't unzip the zipper around. Again, you don't want any bumps. Smooth that baby out. Can you see right here where my bumps are? Okay, so you're definitely going to want to open that up and smooth it out. It might be a little bumpy further in than your seam allowance. That's okay. But in your seam, you want to get those bumps out. I'm sorry, I just woke up. So my throat is not cooperating with me yet. I did not stop at my 4-inch markings. Okay, so that's no big deal. All you have to do is rip it open in between your 4-inch markings. Okay, so I ripped right at my 2 markings. You can see there it's sticking out, and there it's sticking out. And then I'll pull that all out. I'll do that off screen so y'all don't have to watch. But then I'll just stitch right over the beginning and end again and back stitch before I turn out my pocket. Be right back. The best part of accidentally sewing all the way through is you'll be able to see where exactly you're supposed to fold your fabric. Yay! So reach in there as far as you can and I try to start with the farthest corner and pull that out. Well, push it out. I can smell my laundry detergent on here. It smells so good. Okay, so come in those curves and round them out. Oops, my double-sided tape's starting to come off on the other side. Alright, sticking my crochet hook on and rounding out those corners. Okay, so pocket. We're going to take this pocket and fold it up like this. And we're going to top stitch through. But first we need to fold this under. So fold this under and match it up to where, you know, you just ripped out your stitches if you're like me. I like to just hold it tight and start right down there. So I'll insert this into my machine. All right. Okay, so I'm going to use like a 1/16 of an inch seam allowance just so I can make sure I catch my folded edge here. Nah, I'm going to use 1/8 of an inch. I know this is like really not a great angle, but you're going to want to like pull your pocket away and around your zipper foot or your regular foot. I always have a zipper foot on. Well, I guess I'm using a 4 stitch length for this. That was an accident. Again, pull your zipper like away from your curve. Don't pull tight. You don't want to stretch it. And we didn't have to backstitch if we didn't want to. We could have pulled our threads to the back, but okay, I've got some loose threads from stitching, ripping out my stitching that I need to pull out. But otherwise, this is your little pocket right now. Let's go get our backside. Okay, so go ahead and take your pocket and fold it in half. We want to find the center of our zipper. Oh. Which will be here. And we're going to find the center of the bottom, which will be here. Those are going to be our two main markings. So I would like to transfer some markings here. Okay, now I have some small markings. So I can take my clips off because I'm going to remove this double-sided tape. Okay, so we're going to take that off all the way around.
I'll see you later, okay?
And then we're going to match up our center mark to the center mark on the top.
I got an answer.
All right. And then what I do is push down till we get to where it starts curving on both sides.
Have fun. Yep.
Then I'll grab the whole thing and flip it over. And I want to work around my curves now.
Okay, however, whatever, calling, okay? Yeah. Alright, love ya. I'll see you in a little while. I'll see you in a little while, okay? Love you.
Around those curves. Again. Make sure our center marks match up. Sorry if you just saw my tongue.
Oh, sorry about that.
And we'll just keep going around. Just keep zooming. Basically, you want to pull that fabric so it straightens out. It's okay. All right, so that's on. We'll flip it over and grab our back pocket. Okay, so I marked the gusset pieces on the pocket piece here, since those are like the only markings you'll be able to see here. So I will match up my markings to my gusset. Do the same thing on this side. And then get it worked in there. Mm-hmm.
Just 3 big ones?
Yep.
Been a long time since I made regular coffee, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a scoop. And he likes the Giovanni coffee. The Giovanni bag coffee is his weekend coffee. Because he's fancy. You gotta look at me. That's what he did to me. The Giovanni is my weekend coffee. So it's my fancy coffee. Are you kidding me, you weirdo? I haven't made.
Okay, that's put on there.
Made regular coffee in so long, I forget what it was supposed to even look like raw inside the coffee filter.
Okay, and then I'm going to sew on the exterior side up, I think. Nah, I'll probably sew into the curve. Okay, I'm going to start on the side and sew into my curves. I find that's the easiest. Again, make sure you're watching out for your zipper. And there's no bumps. Okay. I like to try to just kind of slowly move my clips around the curve. Let me make sure my needle's down. I got a pinch down here I want to work out. Whoop. Sorry about that, my thread broke. If you want, you could open up your zipper pocket and stick your hand in there and move things around too, which is what I'm about to do because I can't get my purple to line up right here.
Have you been outside yet?
Huh? No.
Lord.
Ugh.
That's what Phil's mom passes away. Phil's dad comes to Florida. Or they go to Florida for the funeral. And
Sometimes you gotta go really slow around these curves. And that is okay. Sometimes I'll even hand crank. Ugh. Sounds like I'm gonna lose bobbin in just a minute here. We made it. Oops. Looks like I got maybe a little pinch, but mostly all right. I can go in and fix that pinch too, but so here's your pocket on your front here, and it should look like this on the back right now.
well, it's 3
Okay,
Monday.
let's top stitch around. Y'all, I have my top stitch length at a 4 again. Make sure you change yours. While you're top stitching around, make sure you're pulling while you're top stitching around here, make sure you pull your front panel tight. You want to be stitching on your seam allowance. So I use about a 1/16 of an inch. I've got my zipper foot all the way up against my seam. Make sure your zipper pull stays out of the way. Okay, we'll clip all our threads. I've got thread everywhere. Hey, your pocket will usually be bumpy and gross looking after moving it around like that. Just smooth it back out, make it look nice and pretty again. And here's what we have so far. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our back panel. No, this is our exterior, no. Jeez, this is the lining panel, and it's plain. How about that? So we want to stitch our front panel onto our lining panel here, and usually, at least for me, I've had to like stretch this kind of out to be able to get it to fit properly. You don't want it to be too short. You're not stretching it out per se, but you're gonna see that it curls up a bit. And you want that to happen. You want it to curl up like it's barely, like the lining's barely fitting in there. So you can see it's kind of like ruffly almost. Maybe you can see it a little bit more back here. You want to be able, you want this piece, this back piece, to fit on your front piece. Do not trim it or anything. I've made that mistake. I like to flip this part up when I get to the bottom because that helps me baste it together better. It helps it sit better. I'm going to do it again here because I can see where it's starting to try to pull away. You don't want that purple to pull away. Your lining, not your purple. All right, so our exterior is fully complete now. Here's our front. Here's our back. Well, now we got to do the gusset. Okay, so you have your 19-inch zipper now. 2 main panels and 2 lining zipper panels. Let's go ahead and grab our lining zipper panel and put our 19-inch zipper on there and baste it on. You're just grabbing one for the time being. Oops. Okay. Well, we'll try to fix that later. So grab one of your main panels and lay it on top, and we'll do a zipper sandwich like we did before. If you have directional fabric here, make sure you've got it going the way you want before stitching your main panel on. Okay, and we can top stitch this. I left way too much overhang, so that's gonna stink a little bit, but let's go ahead and repeat for the other side, starting with our lining. Aw, she forgot about you, bud. All right, and one more main panel. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have my heads go the same direction on both sides. And a top stitch. And there's that. And now we can put our pulls on. Okay, so now we have our pulls on. We grab our gusset pieces. Now because my fabric's directional, I cut 2 pieces. I just did half the measurement and then added a little bit of seam allowance. So I need to sew these together so they'll go the right direction when they're wrapped around the bag. So I'll need it like this, and like this. So these two need to be sewn together here. Just going to use a small seam allowance, like 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up my seam. And top stitch both of my sides down. So like this, and then we're going to top stitch on both sides. That way it makes that seam nice and flat. Okay, so that's what that looks like now. And that's our center mark, so yay. Okay, I want to make sure my panels are the same size. Looks like I could have taken maybe a slightly smaller seam allowance. Slightly bigger. Maybe like 3/8 of an inch instead of 1/4. I'm just trimming these up a little bit to match. Okay, and then we'll take our lining side and the lining side of our zipper and match those up together. And then we're going to match up our gusset. Exterior, gusset exterior. Looks like I could have taken a bigger seam allowance for the zipper panels. But I'll just trim those down as well. No big deal. Make sure I got that. This was the side of the zipper that was barely on there. And I did still barely catch it. So I'm going to take a little bit bigger of a seam allowance right there. And I'm going to match that up because it looks like not great now. Okay. So since I did that, I'm going to take a smaller seam on the other side. So we'll just pull this down, match it up. Same thing for the gusset side. The exterior side, I don't know why I keep calling it the gusset. And I did like a 1/2 inch over there, so I'll end up doing just a 1/4 inch over here. And hopefully that'll make up for it. Okay, so go ahead and fold your gusset in half and match up those seams that we just made and mark your center. We need to top stitch these gusset pieces. So I'll do the same. So now we need to top stitch the gusset. So we're going to top stitch across and then I'll baste all the way around. Okay, I'm on to the other side of the zipper, so I'm gonna top stitch across that zipper. And then I'm gonna pivot and go up around the top of the zipper. Right now I'm past the zipper again. So just keep basting around. Now it's basted, except for one side apparently. Okay, let's do that side too. All right. Guess it's complete.